one of my whanaunga from Tūwharetoa, he started off with this at a conference that we were at with some of you at the end of last year, the Aotearoa Rangatahi Tūrangatira conference in Rotorua. And he said the Maori world only wants its ugly. And I thought I'll start off with that just to acknowledge deficit thinking that is amongst us. Because the deficit thinking and coming from not a place of strength, it's got it up here, specialist in positive health and fitness and nutrition. Sorry about it, but as a Maori practitioner, as a student of the environment, and as a disciple of Te Arawa, I couldn't, to be fair, see much positivity going on in some of the kōrero that's happened. That's just how I roll, okay? So, I thought I'd put this up just to give you an idea of the reason why I started and did what I did over the last year or so. So I'm going to ask a few questions of you to start off. And you don't have to talk to your partners, but you can talk to yourself, and that's not mental health, that's just Māori dichotomy. How assimilated or colonised are you between 1 and 100? And a drop down from that is, can you determine how assimilated or colonised you are by critically analysing your diet? I like to call it kai-linised or kai-linisation. So have a think about that. Ask that question of yourself. Okay, here's another one. How does your diet affect your ability to authentically develop all pillars of Māori well-being? Think about that. I'll give you a couple of seconds for that. And if you need a hand, refer to the website, Sir Mason's website, or there's a diagram up there. Next one. If we are not engaging directly with manifestations of atua Māori, which some of you may have attempted that this morning, which are founding philosophical and psychological principles for te ao Māori, including kai, will this affect your ability to succeed as Māori? Now the question is, as Māori, and you need to define that in your hinengaro. I kind of like this, I've been doing a bit of work overseas with the Native Americans, so I sort of chucked one of the Kazi sayings up here, and it's, if we say we are Pueblo people native to this place, what does that mean? And if we were living like the rest of America. So I cannot help be Te Arawa. I can't help that. Blame my parents for that. So many of the whakaro that I give to you comes from a Te Arawa space. And I don't apologise for that either. Okay, also, which atua whakapapa mātauranga are you currently engaging with and celebrating in your current dietary practices? So in our whakaro, our kai descends from an atua. Yep. So have a think about the kai that you've, there's a bit of cow there, a bit of salad, a bit of a protein powder for you fellas out there. Which atua did that come from? Heki honeki. Okay, so 6th of January I started on a journey, and I spent 10 days in wānanga phase underneath the stars, searching for my purpose on this earth and how I could contribute to my people a lot better. So I spent 10 days, and by the time I got to the 10th day, I had a plan in my head, and I realised that I had to use mechanisms of my tūpuna to start paving a better way and showing a better example. And I kind of thought that they did it for 10,000 years and it worked, so shouldn't it work for me now? Yeah. So I picked a spot. I picked a spot in time, and what I said was, I'm going to eat the things that my tūpuna ate. So what they brought from Hawaii and what they found when they first got here pre-European, the Te Arawa waka. Okay, so the scope is to explore kai eating behaviours of ancient Te Arawa before and upon their arrival here in Aotearoa, and what they ate, but more importantly, why they ate it. Because as Māori, if we understand the why, we're probably going to get a better hit than even just knowing what it is, if you know what I mean. So we know we should be going for a run or doing exercise, but why should we be doing it? And once we understand that, okay, second, I'm trying to be a scientist here. You know, I failed school C science, I only got 36 and I got expelled from high school. Anyway, so this is my methodology. Yeah, me no. So what I wanted to implement was a tūpuna eating regime over a year-long period and consider any of the notable effects. And importantly, the notable effects in a whakapapa line. Not on my body, because if I'm thinking about losing weight, then I'm being a Pākehā. But if I'm thinking about enhancing my wairua, then I'm being a Māori. Ka pai? So effects on my wairua, first of all, hinengaro, tinana, whānau. I don't get that one from Sir Mace. Anyway, ngākau awhawasa in Te Arawa, but we'll hang with him because he's a doctor. Okay, also to explore traditional kai and wai, because when we think about kai, we sort of forget about wai. The philosophy and metaphor behind that, tikanga kaua, and its important influence on well-being. Also, I wanted to define what was ongoing value of the practice, and it can be maintained over a sustainable period of time. So that's looking back at the longevity of why they ate that way and the benefits and if that would work in today's age. And then a possible exemplar to come out the other side for change for anyone that wants to run along with that. I kind of put kaupapa Māori up there because I really wanted to define that so a little bit, but I'll take a short moment to do that. And kaupapa Māori for me and for others, I'm not academic, but I read some academic things sometimes, is about transforming our people to a state of rangatiratanga through Māori principles. It's not using Māori words to define a Pākehā stance. Ka pai? Got it? Okay. Moving on. So, over the last year, I researched to see what food came off the Te Arawa waka, what we found here, and I narrowed it down to something that could be accessible, palatable, I liked it, and I could do it all the time. And so for the last year, I've eaten, this is my main diet here, coconut, banana. Now, people are trying to challenge me on the validity of that, but kei te pai. Kei te pai, bring it on. Taro, mainly kumara, so if you go back and you have a look at our stories and the whakapapa of kumara coming from Rongo all the way down and through our origins, throughout the Pacific down to here, there's a full line of whakapapa to it. It also has a hierarchy line above because Rongo's a higher status than Haumea Tiki, for instance. So our people would gravitate more to that kai because they have a higher hierarchy in terms of tuakana teina. And so a lot of our kai was driven at kumara, ka pai, and that's through multiple tribes, not just Te Arawa. Okay, so coconut, taro, banana, kumara, kaimoana, fish, all that sort of stuff, and that's not including salmon at the sushi shop. You know, the stuff that we had before. And my only vegetable in terms of greens is pickle, and then any of the native birds that are legal. And the definition of legal is the tūhoi definition. Anyway, sorry about that. Sorry about that, cousins. And the philosophy moving into it was rongoa kai, because our old people thought kai was rongoa. Kai wasn't nutrition. It was rongoa. It was a different philosophy. Everything you eat heals you. Have a think about that for a sec, because that's pretty cool, I think. And then one of my cousins from Tūwharetoa, and Rangiwiwi, of course, because you know that everyone that's not Rangiwiwi wants to be Rangiwiwi. Anyway. He talks about eating in an extreme, so he's a man of the forest, man of the bush out there all the time, and he talks about eating in an extreme. So we've got to eat raw and we've got to eat rotten. But today we all eat cooked, in the middle. Yeah? So our body only knows that space. If you eat on the outsides, you get to have the benefit of all this stuff. So I practiced a lot of that. Okay, so basically the bottom line was if I can whakapapa to it and it was bought by Te Arawa, then I can eat it. But that was my mainstay for a year. So these are some of the things that happened. I dreamt more. I did all these things. You know, I had all these benefits. Everyone wants to know how much did you weigh at the start and how much did you weigh at the end. I didn't weigh myself. I didn't do any of that clinical stuff until halfway through because I knew that the experiment would be defined on that. I didn't want it defined on that. I wanted it defined on kaupapa. So I did a whole lot of things. Did a whole lot of physical activity, no training, marathons, I'm Maori, did the whole works without training and got through them all. Biggest notable improvement, I think, for me, which will get the boys, was in 1990-something, I was an All Black trialist, junior, and I'm fitter, run faster, push more weights now without training than I was back then. Okay, so cool. I won't go through that one, because that's boring stuff. I won't talk about the paleo stuff, because everyone says, it's just a paleo diet, eh? Just eating like a caveman. No. So I won't go through that. But I thought, because everyone else has got stats, I'll chuck some stats up. Just to show how brainy I am. So there's a study, and it says, they've got a little bit of a blurb in there that the primitive natives, Maori, cool way, primitive natives, have had the reputation of having the finest teeth and finest bodies of any race in the world. This is Pākehā writing this in 1938. Before they came under the influence of the white man, and much of this has been lost in modernisation. So they did a study. Weston Price had a look at teeth, a study of teeth from 1914, and then did his own study of Maori teeth in 1938, circa 1938. So in 1914, the Pickerel group saw that there was, in their study, 0.76% of decay they found in Maori teeth at the time, 1914. 1938, New Zealand Pākehā had 85 to 95% of decay in their teeth. Maori living entirely under European conditions had 95% decay. Maori of modernised Maori, so that's still being Maori-ish, but maybe what we call urban Maori, 30 to 50%. And those isolated Maori, which are our Kaisiti Kazis, rural, 2%. And they attribute to that purely to diet. So in a matter of one generation, you had the idea of us primitive natives having the best teeth in the world. One generation, we were probably in the middle, and the next generation, we were custard. Ka pai? I was going to talk about bananas, but no, I won't talk about that. And that's me. But a few things. This was not a transformation in terms of, as I said, in terms of physical stuff. It wasn't an experiment. It was Paora's attempt of being Te Arawa in a different way. And hopefully showing that if we change our practice and we change this stuff up here, everything else follows along the way. Been some interesting findings in terms of the way my body moves with the seasons. I can't eat certain foods at certain times, even though I want to. By the way, there was no parameters. Only parameters on what I ate was the type of food that was in Te Arawa type of food. Other than that, I'll probably eat about 10, 12 meals a day. Boys were watching me last night. I had 3 plates in there. So it wasn't, because most of the other diets that I've come across is about restriction, eh? But as Māori, our metaphor tells us we need to celebrate kai and we need to eat kai. So how can we change 10,000 years worth of practice and celebrating and eating just because we want to go like that and get healthy? So a different perspective on a health strand anyway. Kia ora tātou.